Right. Good morning, all. In today's class, we are going to learn the topic called astable multivibrator. So, this is the circuit diagram of astable multivibrator. It is a 741 op amp. It consists of two input terminals are there. Negative terminal is inverting terminal, and positive terminal is non-inverting terminal. This R is a feedback resistor which is connected between output and inverting terminal. And here R1 and R2 are the voltage dividing resistors. In order to improve the gain of this 741 op amp, so simply I can say that this astable multivibrator is a astable multivibrator circuit. Right? Here there is no input for this. Neither we are applying the input signal at inverting terminal nor at non-inverting terminal. Still it has to produce the square wave. It has to produce the square wave. Right. The word multivibrator, we know. Multi means many, vibrator means oscillator. What is the definition of multivibrator? Multivibrator is an electronic circuit. The output which produces the output waveform, and that output waveform oscillates at many frequencies, or the output produced by this electronic circuit, multivibrator circuit, oscillates at many frequencies. That is called a multivibrator circuit. We know that it is of multivibrators are classified into three types based on their coupling element: astable, monostable, and bistable multivibrators. In that, the first one is astable multivibrator. Means its output waveform oscillates at many frequencies. I'm just mentioning that multivibrator means many oscillations. First, what is mean by oscillator? Oscillator is an electronic circuit which produces the output without applying any input signal by making use of external power supply. That is called oscillator. Oscillator is an electronic circuit which produces the output waveform without applying any input signal. What is the principle of this astable multivibrator? What is the main principle? The main principle of astable multivibrator is to force on op amp to generate the output waveform. We are going to force an op amp to produce the output waveform by making use of plus VCC and minus VE. That is the main principle of operation of astable multivibrator. This astable multivibrator. What is its functionality? The main functionality of astable multivibrator is to generate square wave. The main functionality of astable multivibrator is to generate the square wave without applying any input signal. And we know the definition of multivibrator. These two resistors are called voltage divider resistors. The main purpose of these two resistors is to improve the gain of this op amp. Generally, the op amp amplifies the signal. That signal is the difference between inverting voltage and non-inverting voltage. This op amp can amplify the difference between inverting and non-inverting voltages. But here, the difference between inverting and non-inverting voltage means V1 minus V2 gets amplified by this op amp. That's okay. It is ready to amplify, but neither we are applying V1 nor we are applying V2. V1, I'm not giving any input signal at V1 terminal. I'm not applying any external AC signal at V2 also. Still it has to amplify. Internally, it is having offset voltage. I was given the definition at the starting stages of like first unit, second unit, first unit. Op amp having offset voltage, that is very minute voltage. That offset voltage gets amplified by this op amp, and which produce the output as VSAT. Which produce the output as VSAT, means V saturation voltage it produces. Once again, I repeat, we are not applying any input signal neither at inverting terminal nor at non-inverting terminal. The main functionality of op amp here is it has to amplify the difference between the two input signals. As we are not applying any input signal, then how it can amplify? It can amplify the signal. How? Means internally there is a offset voltage for this op amp. That offset voltage is very minute voltage. The very minute offset voltage gets amplified this op amp and produce the output as VSAT. And it produces the output as V saturation voltage as the output. Then what about V1? The resultant voltage here, V1, certainly. As it produces the V saturation voltage here, then what happens? If it produces the V saturation, see here, this is the feedback resistor. We are not applying any input voltage at the inverting terminal, but here the bridge is connected in between output and inverting terminal through resistor R. So whatever the voltage present at this point, V naught equal to V saturation, the same voltage appears at this node. Same V saturation voltage will present here. Means the nodal voltage here is V saturation voltage, that is maximum voltage. That V saturation voltage acts as voltage across this capacitor. And this V saturation voltage leads to charge this capacitor from 10% of its minimum value to 90% of its maximum value. This V saturation, V naught equal to V saturation will present same voltage at this point. And this, because of this voltage, the capacitor start charges from 10% of its minimum value to 90% of its maximum value. If its maximum value is 10 volts, then it can charge up to 9 volts. 10% of its minimum value to 90% of its maximum value. Thereafter, దాని తర్వాత ఏమవుతుందంటేనండి, the capacitor voltage across the capacitor is equals to reference voltage. Because of this V naught equal to V saturation only, capacitor charged to its maximum level, 90% of its maximum level. That maximum level voltage is called V reference voltage. V reference voltage. Now,
sir, capacitor etla charge cheyadam malla sir cheppara.
Okay, let me explain analytically, then you'll get the idea. Okay. See here. First, let us see the V1. V1 is equal to apply here voltage division rule. V1 equal to output voltage into opposite resistance. V naught into opposite resistance R2 divided by the total resistance in the circuit, R1 plus R2. This is the expression for V1. But here we know that V naught is equals to V saturation. How you got this? You got this V naught equal to V saturation just because of the op amp, 741 op amp, internally it is having the offset voltage. That offset, minute offset voltage gets amplified this op amp and it produces the output as V naught is equals to V saturation. So that the V1 becomes, V1 is equals R2 into plus V saturation divided by R1 plus R2. Here this V1 acts as the reference voltage. V1 acts as the reference voltage. That is, let V1 is equals V reference. Then the expression becomes V1 is equals, that is V reference is equals R2 into V saturation voltage divided by R1 plus R2. I can also write it as V reference is equals V reference voltage, which is equals V saturation R2 by R1 plus R2. This product R2 by R1 plus R2. This term I want to consider it as a beta, transpose factor of a op-amp. Beta into V saturation. V reference equal to beta into V saturation. Where? Keep it in a box. Where beta is equals R2 by R1 plus R2. R2 by R1 plus R2, which is equals to beta. So V reference equal to beta into V saturation. Right. Now the voltage present at this point is V reference equal to beta into V saturation voltage will present at V1. Okay, that is called, do remember, V reference voltage, which is equals output voltage into this factor. Output voltage into this factor, which is equals to V reference. Do remember. Now let us consider case 1 and case 2 for better explanation. How capacitor gets charges and how we are going to get the output waveform. Let's see. Time period versus output waveform. See here. First V and V saturation. Output voltage initially, which is equals to V saturation voltage. Initially, at the starting stage, we are not applying any input signal, but we are getting the V saturation as the output. How we are getting the V saturation as output? This op-amp internally, it is having a offset voltage. That is very minute voltage. That offset voltage gets amplified this op-amp, operational amplifier, and that amplified signal appears as the output as Vsat. Right? So output is equals to Vsat. That is V plus V saturation. Initially, output is equals to plus V saturation. Here. Now consider case 1. Case 1, first case, consider V0 is equals to plus V saturation. Initially, in case 1, consider V0 is equals to V saturation, which we got the output, right? So the same V0 equal to V saturation, this voltage appears at this point. The same V0 equal to V saturation appears at this point. Right? Due to this V0 equal to V saturation voltage at this point, the capacitor gets charges. The capacitor gets charges from its initial value to its maximum value. From its minimum value or least value to its maximum value. The capacitor gets charges. Initially this is plus V saturation and automatically this is minus V saturation. This is also chapter. Next again plus V saturation, minus V saturation. Next plus V saturation to minus V saturation and so on. See now capacitor how it gets charges. See. V reference equal to beta into V saturation voltage. This voltage beta into V saturation acts as the reference voltage, right? So here plus V reference and here take minus V reference. Now capacitor gets charges from 10% of its minimum value to 90% of its maximum value. How it charges? The voltage which is appeared at the output terminal, this voltage, the same voltage appears at non-inverting terminal node. ఇక్కడ అపియర్ అవుతుందండి. వై సార్ వోల్టేజ్ ఇక్కడ రివర్స్ అవుతుందా? ఎస్. ఎందుకు అపియర్ అవుతుందంటే హియర్ యు ఆర్ నాట్ అప్లైయింగ్ ఎనీ ఇన్పుట్ సిగ్నల్ ఎట్ ది ఇన్వర్టింగ్ టర్మినల్ అండ్ మోర్ ఓవర్ వి కనెక్టెడ్ ది ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ రెసిస్టర్ హియర్. If you apply the input signal here, then the direction of current flow is in this direction towards the output terminal. But unfortunately, we haven't applied any input signal here, so that the voltage which is present at the output terminal appears here. Same V naught equal to V saturation will appear at this point. Due to this V saturation voltage across the capacitor start charges from its minimum value to its maximum value. Simply we can say that from its initial value to its final value, or from its 10% of its minimum value to 90% of its maximum value. Capacitor charges gradually like this. The capacitor charges gradually from its minimum value or initial value to its final value, or 90% of its maximum value. Here maximum value is plus V saturation is the maximum value. The 100% అనుకోండి. Then the capacitor gets charged up to 90% of its maximum value. Maximum value is 90%. If it is 10, then this is 9. If it is 1 volts, then it is 0.9 volts. If it is 100 volts, V saturation equal to 100 volts, then V reference equal to 90 volts. Means 90% of its maximum value ki charge అవుతుంది. Capacitor gets charges. So capacitor is charged here up to this point. Now the voltage across the capacitor is fully charged. The capacitor is fully charged. See here, the same voltage appeared here. No, due to that, the capacitor is fully charged up to its 90% of its maximum value. Capacitor is fully charged up to 90% of its maximum value. What is the 90% of its maximum value? The 90% of its maximum value is equals to V reference. Capacitor is fully charged here. Up to 90% of its maximum value. Here maximum value is V saturation. This is the maximum value which is present at this point. So ఈ value లో 90% వరకు ఇది charge అవుతుందండి. What is that 90% value? Which is equals to V reference. Which is equals to V reference. What is the V reference value? Look here. V reference equal to beta into V saturation. So voltage across the capacitor is equals beta into V saturation. Now capacitor is fully charged. It is having the value 90% of its maximum value undandi. That is 90% value ante enti V saturation lo 90% means V reference value. Now capacitor having the voltage equal to V reference. V reference ఎంత ఉందండి? Which is equals to beta into V saturation. What is the beta? Your beta is equals to R2 by R1 plus R2. Is it clear? Right. Now the answer is this one. Now, if you want to increase the that is beyond V reference. For example, capacitor ni inka charge cheyalanunnaru anukondi. Already it is charged fully. Even if you force with your V saturation voltage, ikkada unna voltage enta andi? V saturation. With that V saturation, if you force the capacitor to charge further, then what happens? Capacitor cannot charge further. Automatically, it changes its value from plus V saturation to minus V saturation. It changes its value from plus V saturation to minus V saturation. Capacitor is already fully charged. If you further force the capacitor to charge, it cannot charge. It starts discharging its part. దానికంటే ఇంకెక్కువ ఉంటే ఫోర్స్ చేస్తే ఏమవుతుందండి? The capacitor starts discharges towards minus V saturation. The capacitor starts discharges towards minus V saturation. This is minus V saturation value. This is minus V saturation value. When it happens, if and only if in case 2, consider V naught is equals to minus V saturation. If V naught is equals to minus V saturation, for example, instead of getting output voltage is equals to plus V saturation, if we would have if we got this V naught equal to minus V saturation వచ్చింది అనుకుందాం. In such a case, the same voltage appears at this point, minus V saturation. ఇక్కడ కెపాసిటర్ దగ్గర వోల్టేజ్ ఉంటుందంటే V naught equal to minus V saturation ఇక్కడ అపియర్ అవుతుంది. బట్ capacitor is already fully charged and it is having the value which is equals to beta into V saturation. తన దగ్గర V reference value ఉందండి which is equal to beta into V saturation. In second case, our output voltage is negative voltage. If that negative voltage is present at this point, then capacitor ఏం చేస్తుందండి? It starts discharges. తన దగ్గర 9 volts ఉందండి. This is 9 volts. And here negative voltage is presenting at this point. Capacitor ఒక పాయింట్ దగ్గర నెగటివ్ వోల్టేజ్ వచ్చేసింది. ఇప్పుడు కెపాసిటర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది? This is the external supply to the capacitor. Positive supply రావాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తుంది? Capacitor starts discharges towards 90% of its maximum value to again its minimum value. Maximum value నుంచి మళ్ళీ minimum value కి capacitor starts discharges. Why it is getting discharged? The reason here is, first in case 1, the output voltage is plus V saturation that was present at the capacitor terminal. Because of that positive voltage, capacitor charged and capacitor gained something. That something voltage is Vc equal to beta into V saturation. Our voltage వచ్చింది. Fully charged it is and it is having 9 volts say for example. Now suddenly what happened? In case 2, output voltage changed from V naught equal to plus V saturation to minus V saturation. Now the output voltage is negative voltage. And that negative voltage definitely appears at this point. Because of that negative voltage అక్కడ వచ్చిందంటే మీనింగ్ ఏంటండి? తనకు రావాల్సిన పాజిటివ్ వోల్టేజ్ ఆగిపోయింది. సోర్స్ ఇస్ ఆగిపోయింది. అక్కడ నుంచి రావాలి పాజిటివ్ వోల్టేజ్. దెన్ కెపాసిటర్ సర్వైవ్ కావాలి కదండి. కెపాసిటర్ స్టార్ట్స్ డిశ్చార్జెస్. తన దగ్గర ఉన్న 9 volts నుంచి 8 volts, 7 volts, 6 volts, 5 volts, 4 volts, 3 volts, 2 volts, 0 volts వచ్చేస్తుంది. కెపాసిటర్ గెట్స్ డిశ్చార్జెస్ from its maximum value to its minimum value. Okay, so capacitor gets discharges like this. Is it clear? Now what about the voltage across the capacitor? Means the capacitor is discharging towards the minus V saturation, but it won't decrease, it won't discharge up to minus V saturation because it can discharge up to its minimum value. తన దగ్గర 9 volts ని లూజ్ చేసుకుని నీకు వచ్చేస్తుంది, కానీ తన దగ్గర లేని వోల్టేజ్ ని కూడా లూజ్ చేసుకొని రావాలి అంటే నాట్ పాసిబుల్. తన దగ్గర ఉన్న 9 volts మొత్తాన్ని లూజ్ చేసుకుని it comes up to voltage across the capacitor which is equals to minus V reference. Up to this point it can discharge. Up to this point it can discharge. Further it cannot discharge. Right? Then the voltage across the capacitor is, capacitor discharges in this case, and voltage across the capacitor is equals minus V reference, which is equals minus beta into V saturation. We know the value of V reference, which is equal to beta into V saturation. Minus V reference means minus beta into V saturation. That is the voltage across the capacitor now. Again, in the third case 3, again consider V naught equal to plus V saturation. Consider output voltage is equals to plus V saturation. Again same positive voltage appears here at this capacitor. Then capacitor again charges from its initial value to its final value like this. Now the voltage across the capacitor is beta into V saturation. Again capacitor starts discharges. And again capacitor starts charges like this. The cycle repeats many times. Means we have input voltage, still we are getting the output like this. We are getting the output like this. A square wave along with capacitor action, charging, discharging means like a sawtooth waveform. It seems to be. Actually, it is exponential increasing and exponential decreasing capacitor action. Right? The time period for the first cycle is T1. And the time period between T1 to second half cycle is T2. Means the total time period for the one positive half cycle and one negative half cycle. For charging and discharging. For charging time period is T1. For discharging time period is T2. So the total time period is equals to capital T. Total time period is positive half cycle time period plus negative half cycle time period. So total time period T is equals to T1 plus T2. Now we have to derive the equation or relation for total time period, means total time taken by the capacitor to charge and discharge, means to perform its switching function. The total time period taken by the capacitor to perform its switching action, means charging and discharging. So that time period we have to calculate. First, please copy this. Across the capacitor. In order to calculate the time taken by the capacitor to complete its charging and discharging, to know that we have to calculate the voltage across the capacitor. Initially, the voltage across the capacitor as a function of time period. The voltage across the capacitor as a function of time period. That is, Vc is the voltage across the capacitor, and it is the function of time period, means Vc of t, which is equals to final value of the capacitor charging. I'll explain, don't worry. Plus initial value of capacitor charging time minus final value into e power minus t by R3. Right? Here, the initial value of capacitor switching action. Capacitor ekkada nunchi start avutundi charging. This is the initial value of the capacitor switching action. That is equals to minus V reference. The initial value of the capacitor here is Vi is equals to minus V reference. So here Vi means initial value. Vf means final value. So here Vi is equals to what? Vi is equals initial value of the capacitor, that is minus V reference. Minus V reference. What is the value of V reference? We have derived the equation for that. V reference is equals beta into V saturation. Vi equal to minus beta into V sat, where V reference is equal to beta into V saturation. Then what about the V final? Is it visible to you, all of you? Yes, guys and girls.
No, sir.
Not visible? కంపల్సరీ కనపడాలి, ఎందుకంటే నాకు ఇక్కడ బోర్డులో కనిపిస్తుంది ఫోన్లో. ఇట్ ఈస్ విజిబుల్ అప్ టు దిస్ పాయింట్. ఓకే, నో వరీస్. రైట్. నెక్స్ట్, వాట్ అబౌట్ V final? V final is equals, see here, V final means the total output voltage acts as V final voltage. So here V final is equals to plus V saturation. V final is equals to plus V saturation, means utmost voltage, the maximum voltage, output voltage acts as the V final voltage. So V final is equals plus V saturation. V final is equals to plus V saturation. You just substitute. You just have to substitute, and here time period t is equals to first time period t1. T is equals to t1. Now substitute v initial, v final, and time period 2. Once again, v initial in the sense the starting point of the capacitor. The capacitor at the starting stage. What is the voltage across the capacitor? This is the starting point of capacitor. Then the voltage across the capacitor is equals to minus V reference. Minus V reference. What is the value of V reference? Just now we have derived. V reference equal to R2 by R1 plus R2 into V saturation. So here R2 by R1 plus R2 is nothing but a beta. So beta into V saturation. And this as usual is minus means minus. And final value of the capacitor. See here. Final value in the sense the maximum output voltage appears at the output terminal of the circuit. Same output voltage appeared in front of the capacitor here at the time of charging. That is the final value, which is equals to plus V saturation. And for the starting time period, T is equals to T1. Now we are having all the values. Substitute all the values in this equation number 1. Then we have Vc of T. T means here T1. Vc of T1 is equals Vf, final value, V saturation plus Vi means minus beta into V saturation minus beta into V sat minus V reference, V final. Here minus V sat into e power minus T is equals to T1 divided by RC. Divided by RC. Here Vc of T is equals to how much? Vc of T, what is the value of Vc of T? Voltage across. Just now we have derived in case 1. In case 1, what is the value of Vc of T1? First charge voltage across the capacitor. What is that value? Please tell me. Vc of T is equals to, in case 1 it is there, voltage across the capacitor. Please look at the derivation in your notes. What is Vc of T?
Beta V saturation.
Beta into V saturation. We know that Vc of T1 is equals to beta into V saturation. Substitute in the above equation. Then the expression becomes beta into V sat, which is equals to, take V sat as common from this expression. V sat plus minus beta into V sat minus V sat. Take minus V sat as common here. Minus V saturation of beta plus 1 means 1 plus beta into e power minus T1 by RC. Send this V sat to LHS side and manipulate, just minimizing it. Then the expression becomes here V sat of 1 plus beta into e power minus T1 by RC is equals to V sat minus, send it to the RHS side, beta into V sat. From this, take V sat as common. Then the expression becomes V sat of 1 plus beta into e power minus T1 by RC, which is equals, take V sat as common, V sat of 1 minus beta. LHS side V sat is there, RHS side V sat is there, gets cancelled. V sat gets cancelled. Then the remaining term is 1 plus beta into e power minus T1 by RC, which is equals to 1 minus beta. Now apply the natural logarithm on both sides. apply natural logarithm on both sides. Then the expression becomes 1 plus, that is minus T1 by RC is equals natural logarithm of, sorry, T1 by RC, just reverse it. T1 by RC is equals to natural logarithm of 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta. Just simplify it directly, that's it. Okay, step no worries. Then T1 is equals RC into natural logarithm of 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta. This is half time period. This is the half time period of first square wave, first square wave, first positive cycle or charging time period of the capacitor. T1 is equals RC into natural logarithm of 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta. This is condition 1. What is equation number for this? Let us give it as 2. Equation 2. But what do we want here? To get the total time period of this charging and discharging time of the capacitor. To get that, capital T is equals T1 plus T2. We have derived the relation for here T1. Now what is the time to derive the relation for T2? Means discharging period could calculate challenge. We have calculated only time taken by the capacitor for charging. Now we need to calculate the time taken by the capacitor for discharging. For that, case 2, same equation. Voltage across the capacitor Vc of T2, which is equals V final value plus the initial value minus final value into e power minus T2 by RC, where final value and initial value we have to write. See here, initial value ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు now capacitor has to discharge from this point. Here the voltage across the capacitor, that is V reference. V reference equal to what? Beta into V saturation. Now beta into V saturation acts as the initial value of the capacitor here. So initial value Vi is equals to beta into V saturation here. Because now capacitor at its maximum value, the maximum value of the capacitor acts as initial value for discharging. It can just start our journey. Now, what is the final value of the capacitor? The final value of the capacitor that can discharge mostly, maximum, not 90%, maximum is minus V saturation. The final value here is Vf equal to minus V saturation. And time period T equal to T2. Come on, just substitute these values in this expression and get the value of T2. Come on, do it. Right. Same value you are going to get. T2 is equals RC into natural logarithm of 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta. Same, just substitute these three values in this equation. Apply the natural logarithm here. That's all. Same equation you are going to get. This is T2 and this is T1. Now, the total time period is equals T1 plus T2. See here, total time period is equals T1 plus T2. See, T1 and T2 are seems to be same equations. So this plus this is equals to 2 into this. That's it. So the total time period is equals, where I have to write, shall I write it here? The total time period is equals, right here. What is the total time period? T1 plus T2, that is RC into natural logarithm of 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta plus RC into natural logarithm of 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta. So that the total time period T is equals 2 into RC natural logarithm of 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta. This is, if you know the value of R and C, automatically beta value also you'll get.